Good morning or afternoon. This is Brandon Holliday here, and I am the HCM consultant here with Thread, and I've got the privilege to speak with Mr. Scott Mastley today, our Chief HR Officer. Scott, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. I'm here in my remote office at the house, so like many folks are these days, but making the best of it. Scott and I are going to uncover what the learning management system is, and Thread's flagship solution, iSolved, has a great learning management system called LearnPro. So the first question I want to ask you, Scott, is what is a learning management system?
Yeah, learning management system is just a great name for a really helpful tool, which is replacing a lot of old, inefficient, time-wasting processes, right? Uh, Assigning and tracking training programs is always a difficult task for HR people or anybody else who's supposed to do it. And learning management system just makes that so much easier. So what it is with iSolved and Thread, it's built right into the platform. So you can go right in and you can assign course content, create course content, whatever kind of training you need for any part of the employment life cycle, you can assign right there in the platform within your payroll system, and you can track it, send auto reminders for it, report on it, and everything right there, all within your human capital management system.
That's great. So that sounds like it's going to eliminate all these paper processes and all these spreadsheets that I have and all these separate websites that I have to go download course content from and kind of put it all together and then hand it in this big nasty paper file for someone to complete, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's only so many dollars per employee per month, and if you add that up compared to the time that people spend creating content, I mean, the value of someone's time is so much more, especially these days, right? When you have people remote and you really just can't waste any time, you got to get things done right, and it saves you from having to create the content and build PowerPoints and research topics and download articles and all the things that people used to have to do to create this content. Most of it's already in there. So our learning management system already has 150 courses built into it, and that comes included with our HR services. So it has things like safety, HIPAA, sexual harassment, customer service, sales, right? All the things that people are interested in right out of the gate, it has those courses built in. And if that's not enough, you can always add your own custom content as well.
Oh, that's great. So you said it has 150 built-in courses already ready to go and plug right into your course content and build those paths with those videos that are already right there ready for you.
Yeah. And a lot of those courses have a quiz or test attached to them to prove that whoever's taking the course understands the information. So not only do you have a record that they completed the training, but also that they were asked questions about it to prove their understanding, and they had to score a certain score to pass it. And you can even determine how many attempts they get to pass the quiz, right? To get credit for that course. And you can even set up badges and certificates and things like that to reward your employees for hitting certain levels or achievements along the way.
So it sounds like there's a lot of configuration and customization. You mentioned efficiency and time saving, but you also mentioned remote. And I think that's a big topic right now. So tell me, why is the learning management, why is LearnPro, so much more important now than ever?
Oh my gosh, it is absolutely vital right now. Number one, because if your employees are partially remote or fully remote, nobody's sitting in a conference room. I'm friends with a lot of speakers and trainers, right? And they're not getting on airplanes anymore. They're not going to big conventions. They're all canceled, you know. So you've got to have a way to continue to develop and grow your workforce and to educate your new hires and everything else. So this learning management system, what it does is just enables you to continue to do all of that without skipping a beat. You can assign all the content you want. You can design it, or you can use what's already there, whatever your preference is. And our HR team would be glad to help you create that content and help present it as well. And it just saves you a ton of time, because you've got to consider how much time it takes you to do it. It makes your job easier. It makes it easier for your employees to access. Nobody has to sit in traffic to come to a face-to-face meeting. They can log in when it's convenient for them. You don't have to say, everybody be available at 2 o'clock, which is hard to do, right? We all have different schedules. You just assign it, give them a window to complete it. And as long as they get it done within that window, they're good.
That sounds great, Scott. That sounds like it's definitely going to save time and effort and energy, especially with the remote environment. So how do you know they're completing it, and will you have, visibility into the system and see their results?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you can assign courses, by the way, to all the employees at once, to specific teams or groups of employees, or to an individual employee. And the system is automatically going to track when the employee completes the course. The status is going to be reflected right there within the university when you look at it. And you can set up auto reminders, which is the one thing that most HR people can't stand about training, is that it's hard to keep pestering people to do it, right? And it puts them in an awkward position, right? Where they're having to call managers and say, can you get your employees to do it? And some people kind of groan. But whether your company really values the content of the training or not, right? Some people just want to get it done and check it off, which is fine. And some people really want to spend a lot of time with training, which is also great. Either way, you can set it and forget it. You assign the course, you add your auto reminders, and you can say, send a reminder 30 days ahead, a week ahead, right? And it will send multiple reminders to the employee or the manager or supervisor to make sure this stuff is getting done.
That's great. This sounds like, some of the other ways that our clients and Threads clients are using the learning management system. What is traditionally, how are clients traditionally using the learning management system?
Yeah, sure. The basic thing, right, is assigning courses, just like we talked about. The person who's working within the system can get automatic reports to let you know all the people who have completed, who are not completed, who are past due, all of that comes automatically into your inbox to keep track. So that saves you a lot of time from digging through spreadsheets like we mentioned. Most of our clients are using this in several ways. The traditional way is, I'm going to set up what's called a path, and I'm going to create several courses that go within that path. Then I'm going to assign that path to certain groups of people. Like one group could be called new hires. So every new hire that comes into your company is automatically assigned this group of courses that you've built into the path. And those courses, depending on what your company does, might include things like, ethics, sexual harassment, customer service. You may have a custom course that you've created. So the clients who really take great advantage of this system will create their own little YouTube video or iPhone video or any content like that. And you can add that in there that has their own specific, like, welcome to our company. This is who we are, what we're about. This is how we do what we do. This is who we work with. This is what we expect. Those kind of things. You can build all of that in and have people listen to some of that right away. One of the biggest challenges that companies are having right now is, how do we onboard a new employee when we're not in the office, right? It can seem awkward.
Absolutely.
Well, a great way to do that is to take a lot of the information that you used to present face to face, and you can do things this way, right? In a Ring Central or a Zoom meeting or something, but you can also record information and have it available in your learning management system for every new hire to take. So a basic thing is new hires taking courses. Another option is current employees taking courses. And by course, that can mean an interactive course where they're doing a quiz, on diversity and inclusion or safety or HIPAA compliance or whatever it is. But that could also mean that you say, we've updated our handbook, and I'm going to add a PDF of our handbook into the learning management system. And then I'm going to create a quiz. So all of our employees have to scroll through that document, find answers to these questions, which lets me know that they did see the most important areas of the handbook. And so that's a non-traditional way that it can be used that the best companies take advantage of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just never thought, when I think of learning management, I think of, okay, I'm an associate and I'm going to become a manager. So I got to go through some training, or I need to just kind of learn what the core values are for the company, or I need to just kind of go through the employee handbook, or just get some, on the job quick training. But you never think about it as like orientation, or that nice touch of having a video or a YouTube video from the owner. That really not only is that a nice touch, but that kind of separates you from the competition. We know there's there's a shortage on hiring, and there's a lot of competition out there, and that's a way to
Hmm.
separate yourself and recruit new talent, good talent, and that's the first thing that they see when they start with us. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. I've worked with hundreds of small businesses, and they all, every single one of them has one thing in common. I
What?
wish I had a better onboarding program.
Yep.
I wish we could do better at that. I have never worked with a business owner or a small business who didn't say that. And what that lets you know is it is a great opportunity to stand out from the competition, exactly like you just said. So the companies who take advantage of that and say, we're going to put a little bit of time into it, can easily rise up above the competition for talent by doing little things like that, right? So many companies will make a video for their website for their potential customers to see, but not take the time to do the same thing for their candidates or their new hires, right? And
Mhm.
those can make a really big difference. And it's fun to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know I've watched you help some of our current clients, and it's a great way to learn their company as you, the chief HR officer for them, are going through, their onboarding and their an orientation process. And it's great, our thread engaged services, it gives you an inside look into what is really important. The orientation is really where you get the first impression opportunity to display what's most important and what's needed for that company. And I can tell you definitely have a knack for that, Scott, and definitely help a lot of our clients, and that's really a really nice touch. Like you said, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. It's just easy to say, what do you want your new employees to know?
Hmm.
What do you want them to walk away with after the first day or second day, right? What do you need to say multiple times to make sure they hear it? And let's
Yep.
put that in a video. Let's make sure it's driven home. Let's make sure they get a feel for your culture. Let's do all of those things. Let's take advantage of the technology we've got to create a competitive advantage.
You got it, man. You nailed it. Especially when it's an all-in-one. When it's just a click, single sign-on system that has that learning management system built into it. It tracks all of that information and reports that back to the employee's profile, and you can, log in and see, and you have a lot of visibility into that employee's results, and all the training that they've done is just so key because you can't be looking over their shoulder all the time now in this environment. You're not in the office rubbing shoulders with them, and you're probably not having as many one-on-one meetings. If they are, they're remote. So you have this automated, efficient, uh, configurable solution that is more important now than ever. And it's great that you were able to share some of the traditional ways and other ways that companies are using a learning management in these unprecedented times, which is really cool and outside of the box thinking, which is great.
Yeah, and like we talked about, so many companies are using, the Zoom meetings and virtual meetings, right, for training or for meetings or whatever. But it's become such a joke. We've all become accustomed to the dogs barking, the frozen face. I know whenever somebody freezes on one of our meetings, we all rush to take a screenshot and then we'll caption the picture,
Exactly.
make fun of the person. That's just the way we do it. But when you send these courses, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. You don't have to worry about the dogs, the babies, the freezing frames, the speed of all that. You can assign the course as long as they log into the system. They can take the course, they can complete it, they can do the quiz on their own time. It's all tracked in there, and the joy of it is that it's so flexible. There's a lot there that's already there for you, just to save you a ton of time. I had a client the other day that we were talking about getting everybody together to do drug-free workplace training and trying to schedule a webinar. And I just said, by the way, all these courses are already built in to your existing system. And he said, what? I said, yeah, here's one for supervisors. Here's one for managers. Here's your sexual harassment course that satisfies New York and California and everything else, And he said, oh God. So we just started assigning some courses, switched gears, and solved the problem. Boom, like that. And I just check in a week later and he goes, yeah, it's all done.
Man,
Just
that's a
much
great.
easier.
Yeah, you nailed it. Flexibility, it's all right there at your fingertips. Having the course videos, from Biz Library built into the system, you don't even have to think about some of those things, which is great. And having
Yeah.
all that content, man. I think that's a big struggle that I've heard with a lot of my clients is, you know, we don't have the time to build our videos. We don't have, if we go out to the marketplace, like a Biz Library or somewhere to download and purchase these HR videos, we don't know exactly what we're really getting. You kind of, you don't really know if you're hitting all the boxes. Am I leaving some things out that really need to be addressed? So having all of that at your fingertips is huge with the LearnPro solution.
Yeah, and you just remind me that the newest thing with this product is that there's access to another 50,000. That's 50,000, 50,000 courses that are available. So if it doesn't have what you need and you don't want to spend the time to create something, you have access to a ton of other courses that you could add. And there's two ways you can add those. You can either buy basically a one-time use that this course always stays the same, or you can buy like a subscription to that course, which means every time it updates over time, you automatically get those updates. And that's for if local, state, or federal laws change that affect the content of the training, you would automatically get that change built in with your course and could take advantage of it without having to go back and rebuild it yourself.
Wow, that's a lot of courses. You said 50,000, 50,000.
That's a lot of content.
So the 150 are the meat and potatoes, kind of the basic blocking and tackling videos. And then if you need anything kind of industry specific or something that maybe is a little less popular, but it's important to you and your organization, you have that library or that marketplace that you can tap into and download for a one-time download, or you can set it up to where it's constantly being updated and enhanced, which is obviously carries a different, pricing and whatnot. But that's
and
great.
if you're willing to take the time, or you have the people who might enjoy doing it, it's a lot of fun to create your own video as well. I worked with a lumber company that was watching some safety videos, and they said, yeah, I like this. This is really good. It would be really cool if they had one that showed people doing exactly what we do. And I said, well, we can make that. Everybody has an iPhone or an Android or whatever now, and software to edit videos. So it's super easy. And so, you make a little video of your employees doing what they do, wearing what they're wearing, the way you want it done. And then now, not only do you have a cool video and your employees had fun doing it, you can use that to train people, for the next 5 years if you want, before the fashions change and you got to redo it.
You keep it long enough, it'll come back in style, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And who wants to watch some random guy from the 80s that, is voiced over? You definitely want that touch. And if you can see one of your colleagues in the video and that's someone that you're going to work with daily, there's that extra touch and that extra personality there, which is great.
Yeah, if you're pulling a VHS tape out with a guy from the 70s wearing a tie this wide and a disco collar, then it's time to upgrade.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, I'm going to stop us there, man. And I really appreciate your time today. This was really helpful to go through again, really what is a learning management system, specifically with Thread. What's the LearnPro system that we offer through the iSolve platform?
That's included with HR services.
HR services, exactly. It's included. Why is it more important now than ever to have a learning management system? And then how are your clients getting creative, but both using it in a traditional manner, but also in other ways? So I think you nailed those three questions. I really appreciate it. It's fun to get to chat with you today, man. And, hope to get the opportunity to do this again soon, but thanks for your time.
Yeah, me too. All right. Have a good one.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.